So in terms of your senior year, how would you say that's going for you? Are you happy with what you've accomplished so far?
It's going good. Currently, my stats wise, I'm averaging 24 points a game, 7 rebounds, 3 steals, and I'm shooting 52% from the field, which I think is pretty good. I'm actually 10 points away from 1,000 points for my high school career, so I feel like that's huge.
The 1,000 point club is like a thing, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. And yeah, I just feel like that's just like something that's good, I guess, going on this year.
Yeah, that's awesome. What about the in the future? Like, where do you see yourself? Do you continue to want to try to play your sport, play basketball? Is basketball your only sport?
I do play football too, but like football was really just to like kind of for fun, you know, like it's just fun to be a part of.
Shape
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Stay in shape, exactly. But yeah, I do plan on playing basketball in college. I feel like that's like my main goal right now. It's probably my number one focus.
And then where are you looking to continue playing at?
Like school-wise, I do have a couple on my list, but I'm not like super sure. I'm in talk with like a couple schools, I would say, but I don't know which route I want to take yet because I've talked to a lot of people and they've told me like, oh, take the JUCO route to play 2 years there and then you could go transfer to a bigger school, which I'm maybe that, or I might just plan on signing to like a Division III, Division II. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, that's what I'm in between right now.
So why don't you tell us about maybe some of those types of opportunities you might have?
Right now, the two things I'm trying to, like, obviously, yes, I do want to play in college, and I feel like that's my number one goal right now. I feel like that's like the big thing. But it's just really about what route I kind of want to take. I'm not really sure on that. Like that, in my opinion, is huge, like a huge decision. Like, I don't know what I want to do because it's kind of going to be like the next 4 years of my life. So I feel like it's really important. And it's either like I've talked to a lot of coaches throughout like the last couple years when I was really like, okay, I want to play college now. And they were telling me, oh, like you have the potential to play in college, obviously, but do you want to go take that JUCO route, go get your education, your 2 years, play at JUCO, and then transfer to a bigger school maybe after those 2 years? Or do you want to like right away, maybe if you get the opportunity, you want to sign to a Division II, Division III school? So I feel like that's what I'm stuck between right now. After one of our Christmas tournaments, I had a really good game. I had like, I think 45 points that game. And then there was a Benedictine scout in the crowd. And he came up to me after the game and we talked a little bit. And he told me he's like interested in me and wants me to come to Benedictine. So I was like, okay, like, yeah. And then he invited me out to a game. I went, I think it was last Saturday or 2 Saturdays ago, but I checked out the school. I did like it. It's in a nice, like a calm area. So, and Benedictine is Division III, and I did like it. Some of my like JUCO school or like Division III schools, there's like Aurora on my list, Elmhurst, Lake Forest, Dominican, Illinois Tech, North Central, and then Carthage. And then I have reached out to a lot. Like I've just reached out to probably like each level. I also do have a connection with somebody at Chicago State, so he's trying to get me to go there next year. So we're just seeing like where it takes me.
What division is Chicago State? I know that some of their sports, they were Division I.
Yeah, for basketball, they are Division I, yeah.
They are Division I, okay. As you said, you have to weigh everything. This is the next years of your life. It's your future. It's your education. And while basketball is an important part of that, I think sometimes young athletes force the route of the sport and they put that before the education component. But what we have to keep in mind is most of us are not on a track where you're going to go to college and then play in the NBA.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be your career.
Yeah.
So you have to weigh all your options, like, you know, the financial part of that and who's able to help you offset the cost of college. Because I know with my son who plays, he looks at his sport as something that's very important to him, but he knows he's not going to be a professional soccer player. It's a job.
Yeah.
Right. And you want to get paid a certain amount for your job. And the way he's being compensated is with an athletic scholarship to play at a junior college. So how are you approaching that when you're looking at your different options?
I feel like that is something like I do think about a lot. It's like, okay, like after I graduate, like, do I want to just focus on my education, like work, like my job, obviously, and then just pretty much just like take that route? Or because obviously like playing a college sport, it's not like a high school thing. It's not like you just play a season and then it's over and then you have a lot of free time. It's like literally like a full-time job where you have to focus on it 24/7 because that's why you're there. Like the only reason, you know? So I feel like that is like a huge commitment in my opinion. So it's like, do I want to take that risk and then just put all into this? Cause like talking about the NBA is like, I'm like 0.03 or something like that of like the whole world goes into the NBA. 60 players are drafted every year. So I feel like that I do think about that a lot.
Yeah, it's a long shot. You never know.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, who knows what happens? We might be watching you on TV at some point, which would be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be great. We'll have you come back in. We'd have to pay you at that point probably to have you come back in and talk to us, because such a small number of people have the opportunity that you have, where you've actually had conversations with schools and they've said, we want you to come to school here. Because typically, like in my own situation, not playing a college sport, coming out of high school, I had to go knock on doors of colleges and say, can I come here to school? And they were like, sure, pay us this much money. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to go to school here, right?
Yeah.
And having these schools actually invite you in and have these conversations, I think that it's exciting and you should really enjoy it, right? Like let it really sink in, because it's a thing that most people don't get to experience.
Yeah, and I am like super grateful for that, and obviously like that is huge because like you were saying that some people don't have the opportunity, and I just feel like just got to kind of make the most of that opportunity.
Right. I mean, I was excited when I went with my son and they gave him a t-shirt.
Yeah.
I was like, I never got a t-shirt from a school. Like, well, you got this shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, this is something. And he's like, Dad, you need to chill. It's just a shirt. There's this sort of like stigma attached to playing junior college versus playing Division III. And there's sort of like, we almost are conditioned to think Division I, whoa, this is the greatest thing ever. And then you go Division II, Division III, and there's NAIA, and then there's JUCO, right? So everyone kind of stacks a sport like this. And I saw a statistic, like a little a graphic that said, if you play Division I, you're a stud. If you play Division II, you're a stud. If you play Division III, you're a stud. If you play JUCO, you're a stud. All the way down, because only 7% of high school athletes are able to play a sport in college. 7%. That means that 93% of people are done after high school.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to keep that in mind, and it's important to be proud of that. When did you start playing basketball? Like, have you been playing your whole life? That's always kind of been your thing, or kind of where did it begin, or where did you kind of the switch went on where you're like, this is my thing?
So first time ever playing, I think I was around 8 or 9 years old at nearby Replex called Fusion around like near here, like a couple minutes away. And I feel like I just started playing from there. And I think I just fell in love with it right away. I just kept playing, practicing. I was in like little like clubs. I never really like thought I was going to take it like serious. But I think once I got to 6th grade, I tried out for the middle school team. And back then, 6th grade wasn't really middle school. It was just elementary. So when I tried out, I made the team as a 6th grader. I made the 7th grade team as a 6th grader. And then I was like, okay, like we'll see where this goes. And then I just kept playing through 7th, 8th grade year, got cut short, COVID. So I didn't have an 8th grade season. And then my freshman year, I played JV. And then sophomore year, I joined the AU team called SBT and then I feel like my sophomore year was like, okay, like it clicked, everything was like, okay, like I'm going to take this serious because of my coach, everything. I feel like my AU coach was a huge part of that, in my opinion. He pretty much introduced me to just everything, like, and it was just a great team. Like, unfortunately, like none of the kids on that team did come to this school. They all go to a different school. So it was just fun. And then I was just like, okay, sophomore year, going to my junior year, I had a great year. And then, now we're here.
So you would probably attribute a lot of your success to where you kind of shifted over into that more serious competitive youth sports, like the AAU team.
Yeah.
Like that's where you kind of feel like you got some traction and you were able to coast into high school and it became your thing.
Yeah.
Which I think is an interesting thing. And you know, one of the things I think about a lot is like, why are we good at a thing? Like basketball is your thing. I'm not a basketball player. And my story is kind of the opposite of yours. because when I was in grade school, in 5th grade, they would have basketball tryouts. And the gym teacher at a small school would just invite all of the boys, because the only boys' sport was basketball.
Yeah.
And the only girls' sport was volleyball. So if you were an athlete, you had to play basketball if you wanted to play for your school. So he invited all the athletes from 5th grade, and I went there and I tried out. And I didn't make the 5th grade team.
Yeah.
I got cut from the 5th grade team. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm a better athlete than half of these kids, but I was not very good at basketball. It was not like a thing that I, was very good at.
Yeah.
And I kind of at that point said basketball. And I knocked it off the list, and I didn't play basketball again. I was like, I hate basketball. But what happens when people aren't good at something is they say they hate it. And I think the interesting thing is, when you do something and you get a little bit of positive attention, you do more.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we crave that, especially when we're kids, right? When we're little kids, we crave the attention of people going, wow, you're good at that. And then you start to condition yourself to think you're good at it. And once you've done that, then you become a basketball player.
Yeah.
And that's when I became not a basketball player. So I chose a different path, and you went down that one. So I think it's interesting, and we could tie sports to so many different things in life, right? All you really need is that little thing where somebody's like, they notice that wow, that's really great. And they may not even be telling the truth. They could be just trying to make you feel good, but it doesn't matter, because once they got you, they got you. It doesn't matter if it's music, art, basketball, football, baseball, any of that stuff. It's all kind of the same thing.
We have some big upcoming games next couple weeks against Shepherd, Richards, Argo, Oaklawn, Evergreen. Pretty much our whole side of the conference, which I feel like are the biggest, probably the 5 biggest games of the year. So just come out, support.
And which one of those is like the rivalry game, or the one that's your toughest opponent, or the one where you're like, we need to win this one my senior year?
100% Oaklawn. I've never beat them throughout I beat them when I was a freshman on JV, but like we don't. Varsity wise, the real stage, I feel like Oaklawn for sure. And this year we did pick them for our senior night, and it's at Reavis this year, so I feel like that's going to be the biggest game of the year. February 7th at 6 p.m.
All right, you heard it here. February 7th at what time?
6 p.m. at
6
Reavis.
p.m. at Reavis High School. So we're going to try to pack the gym and support our basketball team. All right, thanks very much, Yigit. It was great having you on the show, and we'll see you all in the next one.